Alcatraz. The name itself sends shivers down your spine. An island shrouded in mist, a fortress rising from the icy waters of San Francisco Bay. A place of whispers and shadows, forever etched in history as America's most notorious prison. It stands, even in decay, a haunting reminder of the human capacity for both good and evil. For nearly 3 decades, Alcatraz housed the nation's most hardened criminals. Men like Al Capone, George Machine Gun Kelly, and Robert Stroud, the Birdman, all felt the cold embrace of the rock. Their stories, etched into the very walls of the prison, still fascinate and terrify us to this day. The island's isolation was as much a part of the punishment as the prison walls. Surrounded by treacherous currents and frigid waters, escape seemed impossible. Yet, the human spirit, even when caged, yearns for freedom. And some were willing to risk it all for a chance to escape Alcatraz. Alcatraz was never meant to be a prison. Originally, the island served as a military fortress. Its strategic location at the entrance to San Francisco Bay made it the ideal defense post. Giant cannons, capable of firing for miles, once guarded the coastline. But in the early 20th century, the island underwent a transformation. The military presence faded, replaced by a new kind of fortification. Alcatraz became a federal penitentiary, a place to house the most dangerous criminals in the nation. The old military buildings were converted into prison cells. New cell blocks, designed for maximum security, were erected. The once pristine island became a symbol of confinement and despair. The prison was designed to break the spirit. Every detail, from the barred windows to the echoing silence, served as a constant reminder of the inmates' isolation. Alcatraz was a place where hope went to die. Life on Alcatraz was one of relentless routine and crushing boredom. The clang of iron gates marked the passing of time. Days blurred into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. The prisoners lived by a strict schedule. Every hour was accounted for, from the moment they woke to the moment they were locked in their cells for the night. Meals were eaten in silence. Conversations were limited. Every movement was monitored by the ever-watchful eyes of the guards. The cells were small and Spartan. A single bed, a toilet, a sink, and a small desk provided little comfort. The walls seemed to close in, suffocating any sense of individuality. The only view was of bars and concrete, a constant reminder of their confinement. Even the most hardened criminals found it difficult to withstand the psychological torture of Alcatraz. The silence was deafening, the isolation unbearable. It was a place where men were stripped of their humanity, reduced to numbers in a system designed to break them. There were 14 separate escape attempts involving 36 inmates. Of those, 23 were recaptured, 6 shot and killed as they fled, and at least 2 drowned. 5, including went missing and were presumed drowned, 2 in 1937, and 3 in 1962, remain unaccounted for. But one escape attempt, in particular, has captured the imagination of the public for decades: the daring escape of the Anglin brothers and Frank Morris. John and Clarence Anglin, along with fellow inmate Frank Morris, spent months planning their escape. They used spoons and whatever else they could find to chip away at the concrete around the ventilation grills in their cells. On the night of June 11, 1962, they made their move. They crawled through the ventilation shafts, leaving behind dummy heads made of papier-mâché to fool the guards. They reached the roof of the cell block and made their way to the water's edge. They had constructed a makeshift raft out of raincoats and used an accordion-like instrument to inflate it. Then, they vanished into the night. The mystery remains. Fact or fiction? The FBI conducted a massive manhunt, but the escapees were never found. Did they drown in the frigid waters of the bay? Were they swept out to sea by the strong currents? Or did they manage to make it to shore and disappear? The official investigation concluded that the men perished in the bay. However, many believe they survived. Rumors and alleged sightings have persisted for years. Some claim to have seen the Anglin brothers in South America. Others believe they started new lives under assumed identities. The mystery of the Anglin brothers and Frank Morris continues to fascinate. Did they defy the odds and escape the inescapable Alcatraz? Or did their daring attempt end in tragedy? The truth, like the island itself, remains shrouded in mystery. Notorious inmates. Faces of Alcatraz. Alcatraz housed some of the most notorious criminals in American history. Their names are synonymous with violence, greed, and ruthlessness. They were gangsters, murderers, and thieves, all deemed too dangerous for any other prison. Among them was George "Machine Gun" Kelly, a notorious bank robber known for his violent temper. Alvin "Creepy" Karpis, a member of the Barker Karpis gang, also spent time on the Rock. Doc Barker, another member of the gang, was shot and killed during a failed escape attempt in 1939. These men, along with countless others, left their mark on Alcatraz. Their stories, passed down through the years, add to the prison's dark allure. They are a reminder of the human capacity for both good and evil and the consequences of a life lived outside the law. Al Capone, the Scarface behind bars. The most infamous inmate of Alcatraz was Al Capone. Known as Scarface, he rose to prominence during Prohibition. Capone controlled a vast criminal empire. His reign ended in 1931 with a tax evasion conviction. Transferred to Alcatraz in 1934, he lost his power. The strict rules stripped him of influence. He worked in the laundry and played banjo. Released in 1939 due to health, he died a few years later. His time on the Rock showed that no one is above the law. Legacy of isolation. Alcatraz's enduring grip. Alcatraz closed its doors as a federal penitentiary in 1963. The cost of operating the prison, coupled with its aging infrastructure, led to its decommissioning. The island was left to the elements, a decaying monument to a bygone era. But Alcatraz refused to be forgotten. In 1972, it reopened as a national park, offering visitors a glimpse into its dark past. Today, millions of people visit Alcatraz each year, drawn by its history, its mystery, and its enduring hold on the imagination. The prison stands as a reminder of the human cost of crime and punishment. It is a place where the echoes of suffering still linger, where the walls whisper tales of despair and resilience. It is a testament to the power of hope, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Conclusion. Whispers in the wind. As the sun sets over San Francisco Bay, casting long shadows across the island, Alcatraz takes on an eerie beauty. The wind howls through the empty cell blocks, carrying with it the whispers of the past. The ghosts of inmates and guards seem to linger, their stories etched into the very fabric of the place. Alcatraz remains an enigma, a place of stark beauty and chilling history. It is a symbol of the enduring power of the human spirit, both to inflict suffering and to endure it. It is a place where the past is never truly gone, where the boundaries between fact and fiction blur, and where the mystery continues to captivate and intrigue. Long after you leave, the whispers of Alcatraz will stay with you, a haunting reminder of the secrets that still linger on the Rock.